Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed all the time? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? Then you're in the right place, because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. So I asked my heart what we should talk about today. And it said, caring and sharing. We need to talk about caring and sharing about each other. I said, great. Makes a lot of sense. Caring and sharing is an extremely important aspect of what allows us to achieve inner peace and joy in our lives. So tell me a little bit more specifically, what is it that you're wanting me to talk about? Like, what's the problem that we need to address? What's the problem that can prevent us from caring and sharing? And the word selfish popped up before my eyes. And I was like, selfish. Well, according to the dictionary, being selfish is having a lack of consideration for others, or the other way that it gets defined is to say that being selfish is to be concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. But that's just the definition. I need, heart, hey, I need you to give me the reason, the underlying reason why we might become selfish, why we might act selfishly. Because if we do not understand the problem, then we cannot come up with an effective solution. And so the moment I shifted my focus to thinking about what is at the root of selfish behavior, the answer that came was lack of self-care. It's when we don't take care of ourselves. And I had to take a pause and think about it for a moment, because it wasn't immediately apparent to me what my heart meant, how it was connecting lack of self-care with selfishness. And then as I continued to reflect on this idea that selfishness, at the root of it is a lack of self-care, I was reminded of this saying that an empty lantern can provide no light. An empty lantern can provide no light. And when we don't take care of ourselves, we literally burn ourselves out, and we become like those empty lanterns that can provide no light. And self-care is the fuel that fills us up again, or that keeps us filled, so that we can shine our light brightly. See? And in shining our light brightly, we're able to help everyone else as well. We're able to help take care of each other. When each of us shines our light brightly, we naturally end up taking care of each other as well, and sharing our light with each other, sharing our inner peace and joy and wellness and prosperity with each other. So self-care is not an option. It is absolutely essential if you're going to achieve a life of inner peace and joy and eliminate suffering. If you're going to achieve our desired transformation from survivors to thrivers. It is absolutely essential. And as I thought even more deeply about this issue of what is a problem with selfishness, and especially in the context of how it connects to a lack of self-care. It's like if we think about what selfishness is, or just even if you look at the definition of it, it's like a lack of consideration for others and concern chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Okay, so concern about one's own personal profit or pleasure, that's like self-care. And we just made an argument that, hey, self-care is absolutely essential, right? Because without self-care, we become like those empty lanterns that can give no light. So the problem here is not focusing on our own self-care. The problem is the other aspect, or the other part of selfish behavior, which is about a lack of consideration for others, right? And the thing here is that, see, because self-care is so essential, it's such an essential need, consciously or unconsciously, we are driven to meet our need for self-care, right? This is like actually just one of those things about our basic human psychology. It's like we all share certain fundamental needs, universal human needs, and because they're so fundamental to our being, if we're not meeting them, we are going to be driven to meet them anyway by our underlying psychology and so on and so forth. So, in other words, if you're not taking conscious action, not making conscious effort, and you're not plugged into systems of health and wellness that are helping you to meet these basic essential needs, then your underlying basic human psychology is nonetheless going to drive you into behaving in ways to meet those needs anyway. Because they're not optional. Meeting those needs is not optional. But the problem that occurs is that when our psychology has to drive to meet these needs from a subconscious level, you see, a lot of times what happens is that the strategies that it is forced to use to meet those needs are not very wise strategies. And that is exactly what happens with selfish behavior. Just like on the one hand, we have this deep need to take care of ourselves. And so selfish behavior drives is sort of like the response of this need that we have, and we're trying to meet this need to take care of ourselves. But the reason it's not a wise approach is that we have other needs too. We don't just need to be cared for. We don't just need to be loved. We don't just need to be taken care of. We also have an equally fundamental need to love and to take care of others, to be loving, to be caring, to be sharing. These are equally fundamental needs. But if for whatever reason we don't recognize that we in fact have these needs, and I think a lot of time the problem here is with the way we are educated, the way we are taught about happiness and what it takes to be happy and to achieve inner peace and joy and wellness in our lives. I think it's just there's a lot of misunderstandings in our culture about what is really required, what it really takes for us to be happy and at peace and so on and so forth. And so it's not your fault. You're doing the best you can. The thing is, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that the strategy you're following is unwise. You're just doing the best you can with what you know, right? But the results don't lie. You see, it's like despite your best effort, despite all your selfish behaviors, you see, you're not able to achieve inner peace and joy. You're not able to achieve contentment in your heart. You're not able to achieve a sense of fulfillment. And so you keep striving and doing more of what you know. Just continue to do the best you can with what you know and what you have. But because it's not the right strategy, it's not the right path for arriving at the destination of a life of thriving and inner peace and joy and purpose and prosperity, you're never going to get there. So if you find yourself in this kind of frustrating situation, it's time to stop. Just stop. And figure out what is the right way. What is the key pieces of information that you're missing? What does it really take to achieve inner peace and joy and purpose and prosperity in our lives? And I'll tell you the simple answer, the big picture answer of that is that you have to take care of yourself, right? But you have to do it in a way that does not require you to compromise the wellness of others, that does not compromise the well-being of others, because we are all parts of an interconnected, interdependent whole. When you do something that compromises somebody else's wellness, directly or indirectly, you end up compromising your own wellness as well. You cannot achieve inner peace and happiness when you're compromising the inner peace and happiness of those around you, especially if you're doing so knowingly. You just can't, because of the interconnected, interdependent nature of our being. So it's so important that you understand this, and you connect and stay connected to this knowing, this reality of the nature of our being, that we're all interconnected, interdependent parts of a whole. This is just one of those fundamental ideas that you need to make sure you stay aware of. There are others that you need to know. And for that, continue to listen to this podcast, of course. But also join me this coming Saturday on the 21st of March at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Because I'm going to be doing a free online training on my Survivor to Thriver formula that's going to lay out for you the step-by-step process for how you can achieve the Survivor to Thriver transformation in your own life. And remember, living your life as a thriver is about living a life where you are in control of your wellness, where you know what you need to know to eliminate suffering from your life and to live it in inner peace and joy, regardless of your circumstances. Because you are in control of your wellness, of your well-being. So make sure you mark this on your calendar, and don't forget to go on my website at www.academyofthriving.com and click on the tab that says free online training so that you can register for the Survivor to Thriver training coming up on Saturday the 21st at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Because if you don't register, you won't know how to join me for the training. All right, so go to academyofthriving.com, click on the free online training tab and register for this training, and I will see you on that training. I'm actually really, really excited because it's a brand new training that I've designed, and I've made it so that it's going to be actually interactive. You're going to have the opportunity to live chat with me and interact with me through live chat throughout the training. So make sure you're there. It's a golden opportunity. You do not want to miss it. And yeah, that's it. There is no other end. That's it. You need to be on this training. Join me. Go to my website. Sign up for it. And I will connect with you through that training. And in the meanwhile, or until our episode tomorrow when we connect again, I wish you lots of peace and joy.